Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be reacting to 8 American things Britain doesn't have a word for. Now again, we are going to be reacting to Lost in the Pond, again same as always, so if you'd like to watch the original video it is linked in the description down below. Now before I get into this video I have to quickly state that if you do enjoy my content then it would mean a lot to me if you just hit that subscribe button, as it's quick, easy and free. But also the fact that 95% of you guys, or it might be 92% of you guys who are currently watching my content are not subscribed. And it would mean the absolute world to me if you just hit that subscribe button, as it helps me get out there and get recommended to many other people as I get my light up. I could edit this out. It's probably going to fall again. It broke. I don't even know how it broke, but it broke. And yes, without further ado, let's get it in. This reaction. Oh god, oh god, oh god. There we go.
So it's very important for British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it. Literally in the case of the shoe. Hello, I'm Lawrence Brown and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to words. And you and I both know this by now. It's often said that Britain and America are two nations divided by a common language. And what does this mean? It means that English is a prominent language in both countries, but that we have different words and spellings and pronunciations for the same things. But what if I told you right here and now that both Britain and America have things for which the other country doesn't even have words? Well, today I'll be looking at a selection of those from the United States of America, a country I've lived in for the past 13 years. Now, as with all things Britain and America, a lot of these words come back to food, whereas some of them pertain to social customs, the law, and America's obscenely large landscape. And so without further ado, here are 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for.
Elephant ear.
Here's a story. Several years ago, my wife took me to the Indiana State Fair. And when I say she took me there, I got absolutely no say in the matter. And even as we stood in line for the world's most famous pig race, I couldn't help but look around me and notice the types of fair food that were on offer. Of course, you had cotton candy, and of course the British do have a word for that. It's candy floss. You had hot dogs, otherwise known in Britain as hot dogs. And then you had elephant ear. And some British people, perhaps even some American people, might be thinking, "Ooh, you ate a part of an elephant?" No, thank goodness it's not a real elephant ear. No,
I was about to say, what on earth is that?
this is just a type of fried dough that happens to be shaped like an elephant ear or a frisbee gone wrong. And the reason that I say that some Americans might not recognize this name is that it goes by different pseudonyms. You see, while Britain might not have a word for this, America has plenty. As well as elephant ear and fried dough, it also goes by fried bread. Fried bread, not to be confused with the fried bread that you might find on an English breakfast. Completely different beast. Doughboys, scones, again not to be confused with an English scone / scone. Pizza frit, or my personal favourite, frying sauces. And while we're on the subject of American derived food, that brings us on to this.
There are so many different ways of saying so many different things in England and in America. It's quite crazy, to be honest.
Yes, grits. Now, on the face of it, grits sound absolutely awful, because when I think of the word grit, I think of two things. I think of grit to mean courage and
when I think of grit, I don't know why, but my mind goes towards grit salt. You know, the stuff you put down when it's snowing so it doesn't get icy.
Resolve and strength of character, but usually sweat. Or grit as in small bits of stone or sand. Either way, I don't want to eat that. But it turns out that grit, a Southern American dish, is a type of porridge. And I know what you're thinking, Britain. That's ridiculous, Lawrence. We do have a word for porridge, and it's porridge. This is a specific type of porridge and a big deal in the southern United States. But in the unlikely event that you're thinking of moving to the United States just because you want to live where grit is, but you don't want to move to the southern United States because you can't stomach 400-degree temperatures, in my experience, you can get grits here in the Midwest, and I assume other places in the United States. Second thoughts, it'd be easier just to say in Britain and look up the recipe online. That's something you can't do so easily with this.
I don't even know how to say that.
Yes, B-U-T-T-E. Now, before I go any further, it's probably important, in the interest of not being demonetized, that I point out that this word is pronounced butte. And it's probably quite an appropriate pronunciation because buttes are often beautiful, or at the very least, stunning. Now some people might be thinking, get to the point, what on earth is a butte? Well, a butte is a very specific type of hill, and this specific type of hill is not commonly found in Britain. It's a type of hill that has a flat top and vertical or nearly vertical sides. Think of the Mitten Butte in Monument Valley in Arizona, or Devil's Tower in Wyoming, or to give it its official name, Richard Dreyfuss's mashed potato. And now that we're 3 words into the list, do you want me to go on to number 4? In other words, do you want some more? Do you want some more? Do you want some more? Well, bring it on.
And you want some more?
You see what I did there? When
I did.
first moved
Clever,
to the
clever.
United States, I was offered a s'more and I turned it down because I was frightened of what it might be. And then somebody described the content, and my love for them from that moment on only grew, just like my waistline. Of course, Americans know
Nice.
what a s'more is, but this is for my British viewers, i.e. my mom.
Isn't a s'more like melted chocolate and marshmallow in between 2 biscuits?
An official s'more is a roasted marshmallow,
Yep.
right, stuck to a slab of chocolate.
Yeah.
Sorry for the noises. And together they are sandwiched between a graham cracker, right?
Yeah,
If
biscuits.
you're wondering what a graham cracker is, it's similar to what the British would call a digestive biscuit.
Yeah,
except
biscuit.
it's square and Americans pronounce it gram. And because of the fried marshmallow element to all of this, it's perfect to make one while you're camping. And you might be wondering, why is it called s'more with an apostrophe? Because it's a contraction of some more, meaning that my segue surprisingly made sense for once. Unlike
Well,
this
it
one.
did.
Bring
It
on
did.
the dogs.
A
The
Carhop.
word Carhop has nothing to do with dogs because that would be mental. Furthermore, a Carhop is not a type of car that hops because see previous comment. A Carhop is somebody who serves you food but while you're in your car. Now of course it's pretty well
So like a mobile delivery.
known that it's a big part of American culture to order food at the drive-thru, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about drive-ins. Drive-ins are a still lasting remnant of a bygone era here in the United States, where you park your car at the designated drive-in, the Carhop comes to you and takes your order, and then brings you your food. And you stay there in this exact same spot right next to the restaurant or cafe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they do that here for McDonald's now.
And I personally have come to consider this fine dining even in a Prius. Allow me to do a quick shout out to 2 that I've been to. Recently on my Route 66 journey I visited the Polka Dot Inn in Braidwood, Illinois. And Carhops served me every now and again at Jean's Root Beer stand in Anderson, Indiana. And I am told that in some of the more snazzy quarters of the United States there are even Carhops on roller skates, but they're difficult to find because it's not the 80s anymore. Jaywalking. You may remember that I talked about this very topic a few months ago. I had absolutely no idea what jaywalking was. You know, it was a word that cropped up occasionally in films, but I just assumed it was a sport. I thought this was going to be a big deal, right? You know the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, he didn't because he was too much of a chicken. At least that was the case at first, and after my wife had laughed at me 17 times, I started to get the impression that I might be overthinking this. All of the years that I've lived here, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Ooh, did you see Ashley? I think she was jaywalking, better call the cops." The reason we don't have a word for jaywalking in the UK is because that law doesn't exist. And funnily enough, despite our difficult relationship with rain and drizzle, we also don't have a word for this.
What is the point of jaywalking? Honestly, like, if the road's clear, just walk across the road. Doesn't matter if it's at a crossing or not. We do it here all the time. Like, I don't know a single person that doesn't do it here. But then again, there's not a lot of crossings here. I just felt, no, but there is though. I think it'd be more annoying if you're in America because obviously you have to like walk to the end of the block to cross. I don't really know how it works. It just seems like a pain.
Admittedly, perhaps owing to the digital age in which RSVPing or not RSVPing is done at the click of a button, the word Raincheck is sadly one I haven't encountered very often since moving here. But I do remember it featuring a lot in American films in the 80s, so that's good enough for me. Basically, when somebody takes a Raincheck, it's to indicate that that person cannot accept the invitation right now, right? But they'd be happy to turn up in the future. And you might be thinking, why is it called a rain check?
Yeah, that doesn't
Does
make
the coming
sense.
together of people depend on whether or not it's raining? Sort of. You see, it originated in baseball. A coupon might have been handed to a baseball ticket holder when the game was cancelled due to rain. And that would mean that that coupon holder could then attend the rearranged game without being charged. And while Britain also has a sport with a batsman and a lot of players who just stand around for no reason, the term Raincheck never caught on. Of course, that could also be something to do with the fact that we often turn down invitations in favour of that non-specific thing that we've got going on this weekend. Either way, Britain doesn't use the word Raincheck, just like it doesn't use our final entry, unless you're talking about shoes.
I don't even know what a hush puppy is, I'm not gonna lie.
That's right, hush puppy, and to me, and admittedly to
I've heard of a slush puppy, you know, a slushy.
millions of Americans, hush puppy was and is a brand of shoe. So it's very important for British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it, literally in the case of the shoe. Because in the US, and once again, particularly in the southern US, a hush puppy is, once again, another type of fried dough. Specifically, it's a ball about the size of a clementine of deep-fried cornmeal batter. And it sounds disgusting, but it's not. And if there was nobody around to keep an eye on me, I could happily eat 50 of them a day, but I'd no longer be alive. Put it this way, from experience, they do taste better than the shoe. And how do I know that? Because I was 11 years old once. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some other things that the other country doesn't have a word for. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can...
There we go, that is the end of that video, guys. If you enjoyed that video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button if you do enjoy my content, as it's quick, easy and free to do. But yeah, before I end this video, I have to quickly state that in my community tab, I have actually put a discussion thing on there, asking you guys if you'd like to ask me any questions so I can make a Q&A. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could just leave a comment on that post. You know, ask me a question. It can literally be anything you want. I just need 20 questions on there to make a video out of it. I think I've got about 8 at the moment, but it would be nice if you could add some more for me. You know, would go a long, long way. But yeah, I hope you're all having a great and splendid day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.